You are, tonight, the ambassadors of Francis Coombs School. The people that visit us tonight are going to judge our school by you and by your behaviour and by the way that you appear and the way that you talk and the way that you answer questions. Our future depends on how you are at your job tonight, because you are what we produce.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to boys and girls, mums and dads, to Francis Coombs School. Hopefully during this evening you'll be gaining impressions of Francis School, and it wasn't long ago before I was doing exactly the same thing. Although the staff and the children seem to think I've been here forever, it is in fact only a year, and I can still share with you those impressions that I had of the school when I first arrived, and hope that you find you have the same impressions. I believe that Francis Coombs is a school that's actually going places, and I'm sure...
Francis Coombs is a small comprehensive school in Watford. This is its annual opportunity to sell itself directly to prospective customers. The new head teacher is anxious about falling numbers, but not everyone at Francis Coombs agrees on how to market the school.
What I feel we should, as a school, be doing is providing education and not trying to sell our school. I think that by offering a good education, we should be selling our school anyway, but we shouldn't have to then take measures beyond that to divert the school resources into trying to keep the pupil numbers up. But once one school does that, then we all have to do it. And it literally does divert the school resources, which I resent.
There are several academic selective schools in Watford, and many staff feel that Francis Coombs doesn't get credit for what it does well.
If you are appealing to parents, then you're appealing to what parents' views are, which might have been manipulated by outside stimuli. For instance, if parents are forever being told to look for examination league tables, then they're going to ask that question, whereas in fact for their child it might be much more appropriate to look for different qualities within the school.
What's at stake tonight is financial survival. School budgets are set according to the number of pupils. In Hertfordshire, each and every child is worth £1,300. If a school becomes unpopular, numbers fall, income drops, and the school gets even worse.
And the stack goes through you and makes your hair go up.
To avoid such a vicious circle, schools have to compete with each other and do whatever it takes to make a good impression on parents. And for all the misgivings of the staff about league tables, parents apparently have plenty of different reasons for choosing a school.
I thought it was a nice school, met the teachers and everything. Well, obviously I wanted to know what the school was like, because you like your children to go to a nice school. I thought the school was very nice anyway, and also the reason was because it was quite local.
As early as January, Anthony Taylor is visiting the local junior schools to meet the children whose parents are thinking of choosing Francis Coombs for September.
Another thing I'm going to ask is what you like to be known as, if you've got shortened names. Are you Daniel or Danny or...? Danny, yeah. I've written Mr. and Mrs. on all those letters. If you're a single-parent family, then that's not right, and I can rewrite it for you. Is that correct for all of you?
Yeah.
No. What's yours?
Just my mum.
Just your mum?
Yeah.
So it's dear Mrs. Boswell, your child Kelly.
It did have quite a bad reputation for quite a while, which did worry me a little bit, I must admit. But it seems to have got better lately.
And a big smile.
When I was looking at schools, it wouldn't be that important to me what the school looked like.
That's a proper
Obviously,
smile.
I wouldn't want it to look like a dump.
I remember all these.
I was looking for
Super.
good teachers, a good caring school.
Francis Coombs takes care to understand its new pupils before they arrive.
Well, do you want to start with Kelly Boswell?
Kelly Boswell?
Yeah.
Right. Well, in terms of academic abilities, she's...
Anthony Taylor consults their junior school teachers.
but very keen. She tries very hard.
Yeah.
Presents her work beautifully, always takes a great deal of care, but that does result in it taking quite a bit of time for her to get something finished.
Yeah.
Fairly shy. Doesn't really take a great deal of interest in school-based things, but I think that might be a problem from home in terms of, you know, being able to spend time after school and things like that. But within school, you know, 100% all the time.
Because the single-parent family, I mean, no,
There are,
Kevin
yes,
has
there are
free
some
meals.
problems. Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes.
So we'll try and get her to come on the school camp if we can. But
That would do her a lot of good, and she would be a...
There was a period when they didn't see their dad for quite a few years. But then he started seeing them again, and the relationships, between him and the children, the relationship was built, has come back, and it's a lot stronger this time.
can you?
With family breakdown on the increase, it's a school's ability to deal with these kind of problems, rather than its academic record, that appeals to many parents. As the new school year approaches, Francis Coombe holds a uniform sale. It's an opportunity for local parents to pick up a bargain, and also to get to know the school better. For Sue Trill, mother of the twins Lewis and Craig, it was just this kind of occasion that convinced her to choose Francis Coombe.
When I went down there, when I come home, I went round my friends and I said to her, I can't believe what they're like. They were just so involved with the children, not what they're going to be teaching them, but them as a person. They talk to the children just like we're talking to each other. I mean, I remember being at school being called McConnon. The second name was always called out. It's not like that nowadays, and that's what... And if the children are cared for like that, the less trouble they're going to get into, because they're respected by that adult. They'll give that respect back to that adult.
Like the Boswells, the Trills are a single-parent family. Lewis and Craig live with their mother, who came herself from a broken home.
At the end of the day, I know that I never got loved. I mean, I'd never let my kids go through what I went through. You've got to break that chain. People say, oh, it's all to do with your childhood, that's why people do these things. But I went through a childhood that was awful, yet my kids don't go through the same. They've got to be cared for. That school is like that. All the teachers have got that feeling towards the kids.
Before the advent of league tables, teachers at Francis Coombe could work at bringing out the best in every child, whether they were academic or not. And that's what many parents still seem to want. Sarah Egan is the last of 4 children. She has 2 sisters and a brother, and they've all gone to Francis Coombe.
Well, the ducking still wasn't there, but what was like the ducking...
In September, she'll go too. But however many brothers and sisters have gone before, Anthony Taylor sees his job as finding out exactly what Sarah will need and what she'll have to offer.
Well, welcome back. Thanks, spend all your time coming to Francis Coombe for different reasons.
I'm here again tonight.
Are you?
Yes, the art exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is make sure that I don't imagine that Sarah's going to be like Michelle or Lisa. As far as I'm concerned, they're all individuals.
They certainly are.
I've been asking your sister all about you on the camp, and she thinks I have you well worked out, but I'd like to hear it from you anyway. So, what can you tell me about yourself, Sarah? What kind of person? Are you confident?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. You make your own decisions?
No.
So who makes them for you?
Mum.
What happens if your mum's not there?
I make them.
You make them. You make friends easily?
Yeah.
You glad about the fact you're making some new friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you want to stay with the friends you've got, do you? Yeah. And you like sport?
Yeah.
All sports?
Yeah.
Football even?
Yeah.
However hard you try, because we've been through the schools with 3 that are older than she is, I don't think we take as much notice of what Sarah's doing as we did of what Lisa was doing, because it's not as new to us. And I think sometimes we do tend to forget that although it's not new to us, it's new to her.
She's very much fights for her rights. Not in an aggressive way, but certainly she's not going to be left out. And I suppose being the youngest of 4, she's had to do that. You know, to obviously make sure that people notice that she's there. you know, by the time you get down to number 4, you sort of like lost interest, really. But yeah, she's got a very determined, a very obstinate character sometimes.
Everything is set for Sarah, Kelly and the twins to start at Francis Coombe next term. But the school already has to think about attracting the new intake for the next year.
The interesting thing is we get kids coming to us from primary schools and we do kind of taster days and they go away saying we want to come to Francis Coombe School and parents say don't want you to. And they say but we want to, and we have had a bit of trouble with that because primary schools have said no, we don't want to send our kids for your taster day because it's not fair, because then they want to come to you and it causes conflict with parents.
For those parents who select a school on the strength of its league table results, Francis Coombe might seem like a bad choice. But there are apparently many who are less interested in how well a school plays the examinations game than in how it will treat their children.
They're not worried at all. I know they're not. They're quite confident kids anyway. They're such contented kids. They will just, I think, when they go to their secondary school, they will just do what is needed of them.
Beneath their crisp new academic uniformity, Francis Coombe's new children will take with them all their unique family hopes and fears.
Come on, Kel, let's have a look.
Here, look.
Oh, look.
Lovely.
I had my eldest one when I was about 19, and my next one I had about 18 months after.
Yeah, I can stitch that up for you.
Having said that, no, I wouldn't recommend Kelly to go off and get herself pregnant. Obviously, nobody wants their children to make the same mistakes they made.
So, upset. I'm a step.
Considering she looks older than what she is, it does worry me, yeah. Because obviously she's going to always look older than what she is, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on her as she gets older, I suppose.
Upset. Upset.
This boy might be marrying Jenny.
Why? What's happened?
I can remember I was an eldest child, and when I went to secondary school, I was petrified. It was all so much bigger, and everybody there was older. And I remember feeling terrified on my first day at school. And I think it's so much easier for a second or third child in a family to go to the same school because they feel at least they've got somebody there.
Lewis, I know he's always going to get into trouble, but that's something we're going to have to contend with. He's got an opinion of his own. If he feels something needs to be said, he'll speak up. Craig, he'll just plod along, but he'll only work to his level. He won't push his head. He'll just carry on his own little way.
Right, children, it's now 20 to 10. This is not for children.
No. What?
Go make a drink.
Big day today.
Okay. You all right?
It's too early.
It's too early. Oh, I see.
Mum did it for me. I didn't have to do my own. I got Mum to sit for me. So I like it. They're going to film me eating it, please. Come on.
Get out,
He's not to get on the chairs, Kelly.
They got both each other.
Well, you want a cup of tea? Blue Dove was great. What's the time? 5 to 8.
Gemma, when are you getting dressed? 8. 8? Yeah. What's the time?
And you've got your dinner money.
I've got everything going.
You won't need anything else, so you won't need your PE kit.
No.
And then Lorraine's coming here for you, and you're going to call for Charlotte on the way. Good girl. Do you know which one of your coats you're going to put on?
Oh, stop being so fussy.
In the end, these parents seem to have been less interested in making academic choices than in being reassured that the school around the corner is going to be all right.
Oh, God, I'm so embarrassed.
Right, are you ready? Let's go.
Come
Come on then, boys.
See you, Mum. Bye, Mum. Bye.
Here's a kiss. Oh, no. Right, ready? Look at Mum's. Craig, Lewis, come on. Picture, one more.
On the first morning of their secondary school career, the new intake have Francis Coombe to themselves. The rest of the pupils won't arrive until later on in the day.
Down to the dining hall. There we go,
What's your name? Hello, Samantha. Kelly, thank you very much. Right. You'll be able to put it, when you get a locker, you'll be able to put it in a locker. Come down here.
Get them singing, Mr. Hogarth.
Oh, yeah.
Have a nice day. All right, you go home. We'll see you later.
On my locker.
As soon as everyone has arrived, they're assembled in the hall and introduced formally to their head of year. There are 87 children here. That's 3 fewer than expected, but 7 more than last year.
Welcome to Year 7 at Francis Coombe. As you probably know, I'm your year head for the next 5 years. Most of you have met me. Some of you I don't know quite so well. My name's Mr. Taylor. First thing is, don't be worried. First thing is, don't be worried. That's the most important thing I'd say to you today. Don't be worried. You're not going to be in trouble. You'll be safe. I want you to finish today feeling happy, feeling safe, feeling you know what you're doing. And if you find somebody's on their own, it may be they don't know anybody else. So what are you going to do? Talk to them, get to know them. Today is a day for making new friends. Okay? We want children to feel that they are important. Now, they're not customers. They're children who come from families with all their fears and their worries. Maybe they're dog's not well, maybe mum's had a row with them, maybe they've fallen out with the friendship, maybe parents are splitting up, whatever it is. And they've got to feel that the school is a place that they feel secure and safe in.
The children are divided into 3 forms. Sarah, Lewis, Craig and Kelly are all in a class under the head of science, Mr. Aslam.
Exactly whereabouts
Morning and welcome. You've probably forgotten where we've come from, but we are now in the science department. Now you will see that I've already been here for some time and I've put your name tags, and you can understand why, because I'm going to have some problems in actually working out who's who. I've got my clipboards, I've got my map.
All we're going to do is we're going to walk around the school and I'm going to show you various things. You might well forget a lot of it because it's the first day and you're new and you're not going to remember everything. But at least you've seen it once and it'll become familiar to you. By next Friday, kind of in 2 weeks' time, you'll know your way around the school. Right? But it will take time. Don't panic if you get lost. It's quite normal to get lost in your first week. Right? So, first of all, I'm just going to take you outside and we're going to walk round some of the school and I'm going to show you what there is. Okay, let's go. T2, T3, T4, T1, T5. So you might want to write T6, you might want to write technology or CVT in there. It's good for you.
The T4 as well.
Pardon?
T4 as well.
T4 is technology.
T5?
Yes, well done. Yeah.
All the Ts.
All the
T6.
Ts.
T6.
Can anybody tell me what kind of things you think you might do in technology?
Cooking.
You certainly do cooking, but unfortunately cooking isn't in there, but I'll show you where that is in a minute. Woodwork, definitely. Anything else? No, that's art. You do electronics, you might do some technical drawing, right, and there might be some other things. Right, everybody happy? Let's keep going. Right.
These 87 children are a financial asset worth more than £100,000 to the school. Now the question is whether or not they can be made to get sufficiently good exam results to improve the school's academic reputation and to drum up more than 87 new children in 5 years' time.
Right, make sure you get that right, don't get that confused. Girls changing rooms, boys changing rooms.
Or whether their education is about other values too.
What we're trying to do by introducing children to the school community in different ways is to make them feel that the school is something important in their lives, to feel that they belong in a greater sense than just being a member of a teaching class. When I started here, it was respectable and good to talk about the school being child-centred. Nowadays, it has to be computer IT-centred or whatever the latest thing is. And all of these things are important, but the child is at the centre of education. You've got to keep that as a guiding principle.
I was a bit nervous on the first day because it was a bit strange. Because I didn't know no one except for 2 people.
Oh yeah? You?
Best thing's probably all my friends. I sort of moved on to new friends. When I first came in, I thought I was going to get lost because I didn't know the school that well. But after the first day, we got used to it.
English department, really.
What have you done?
Chris?
It comes out like that.
I thought the teachers was nice. The best thing must be meeting new people, you know, and making new friends and everything. It's really exciting.
1, 2, 3. Click. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Fine.
Right.
Over the next 5 or 7 years, these children will become true Francis Coomies. It's a process which begins on Caveman Day.
Within the first 3 weeks of them being here, they all dress up as cavemen or cave people for the day. they go out and light fires. They bring in their caveman food, they made their own costumes, they make their own shelters, they reenact their own rituals. And they've come from lots of different schools and different backgrounds, and there they are all sharing something together. And the teachers are dressed up and join with it as well. So we're saying we're making a commitment to them and asking them to make a commitment to us.
I think we just want to try and do our best for the kids and try and try and hang on to as far as possible the things that we feel this school has got that is quite unique. And whilst we've still got a core of staff that understand that, I think it's still possible to hang on to it.
For the present, Francis Coombs seems to provide what local parents really want.
My hopes are that they survive and lead a normal life. I've not got no big things in my head. I want them to be a particular thing because I only want my kids to be what they want to be.
I don't need them to be professors or doctors or lawyers. My only ambition for them can be that they are happy with their lives.
Need some more wood.
She's not really talking about what she wants to do when she grows up. So I don't honestly know the outcome, but I do hope that she does well at school and has a good education and goes on to get a really good job.
Now look, hang on a minute, wait. To keep the fire good. In a sense, we're reinforcing established values. I know one of the guiding principles of our school is that you should love each other. But on the other hand, that's not something trendy. I mean, it's something that you've got to live together and respect each other. Respect is based on love as well. We are trying to inculcate the kind of values that make citizens work well together, that make neighbours get on well together, that make society work.
But can Francis Coombs continue to play this role for the next 5 years of these children's lives?
There was a time when extracurricular activities, concerts, plays, all seemed to have time and space within the curriculum. But with the new pressures that are on in a competitive school environment and the new demands that are made of us as teachers, it becomes more and more difficult, and yet you know in your heart that what you're doing is right. And in the end, I know my gut reaction is you do carry on with them because you've got to, and you carry on and you carry on and you carry on. And if in the end they say, well, stop, so be it, but over my dead body.